Today we're reading Sarabella's Thinking Cap by Judy, and this is a hard one for me, Skanchner. I think that's right. Okay, so as we read this story, I want you to be paying extra special attention to the beautiful words that Judy says in this book that really helps me think of incredible things in my imagination. Hopefully it does for you too. Also, the illustrations are particularly gorgeous and very detailed. So I'm going to very slowly show you, and I want you to look at all the different things that are beautiful here. Okay. Sarabella's Thinking Cap. See what the cat's thinking. Sarabella had no time for small talk. In fact, she never talked much at all because she was too busy thinking. Ooh, wow, look at this. She thought about big things and small things. Beautiful. Those are all my favorite colors. And oodles of in-between things, like aunts and uncles and doodles of poodles. Got all that detail. What do you think, Pinky? What does he think about? Fish, mainly. He must be hungry. She has words in here like courage and happy. There's some French words, too. Feelings. Pinky's thoughts would remain a mystery, but there was nothing mysterious about her family. They loved puppets, painting pictures, and playing guitar. Most of all, they loved their Sarabella just the way she was, with her feet on the ground and her head in the clouds. To Sarabella, there was nowhere she'd rather be than dreaming of painted ponies racing across the sky. Some ideas came as a complete surprise to her, while other notions were coddled and cared for like rare plants in a well-loved garden. And she says, I need to read up on you, mister. Let's see some of the things she says. A black mustache, rice pudding, a pair of pants. And in the dirt here, she has all these interesting words. Reflect, ponder, study, reason, stew, estimate, wonder, matriculate, imagine, weigh, pursue, ruminate. Oh, all these interesting ones. Question. What fun words. There was never a doubt that Sarabella had a green thumb for thinking. The problem was, no one ever knew what she was thinking about. Her teacher, Mr. Fantuzzi, had a knack for knowing just what Sarabella wasn't thinking about, and that was her schoolwork. Sometimes all it took was a word, a sound, or the scent of Samantha's magic markers to carry her thoughts away. That's when Mr. F, who was really very nice, had to send her home with another note. And this made Sarabella feel terrible. The notes never upset her parents because once upon a time, they got sent home with notes too. Really? Said Sarabella. Really, replied her mom. You have daydreams in your DNA. Let's see, I can read some of the notes. Let's see, he says, Sarabella needs to find a way to focus and finish her work on time. From Mr. F. Sarabella is very well behaved and thoughtful, but her head is in the clouds. She needs a pair of heavy shoes. Dear parents, Sarabella disappeared today. Must learn to focus. Sarabella needs to find a way to share her thoughts. We all are very curious, and it might help her concentrate on her work. Sarabella needs to spend more time thinking about schoolwork and less time thinking about unicorns, kittens, and clouds. Not that there is anything wrong with those things. We'd all love to know what Sarabella thinks about. I'd love to know where Sarabella goes when she's sitting at her desk. Have you ever gotten a note like that? I probably have. At bedtime, Sarabella cuddled up to her big sister Cece. I wish I knew how to focus, said Sarabella. It's easy, said Cece. All you have to do is take a deep breaths and squint. That works for Cece. I wonder if that's going to work for Sarabella. Everybody's different. At school the next day, Sarabella followed her sister's advice, but all she got was a dizzy spell and a visit to the school nurse for an eye test. Look at it, and when she looks at her eye test, it has all kinds of funny stuff on it. One night during a math facts memorization meltdown, a bear of a thought dropped by for a chat. I have a good head for numbers, he said. I can see that, replied Sarabella. Keep me in mind if you ever need help, said the bear. I'll consider it, said Sarabella. And that was her first mistake. The second was taking the bear to school the next day. In real life or in her imagination? I sure hope you left some room in your head for math facts, said her sister. There was always room in Sarabella's brain for one more tantalizing thought. Just not math facts. By the time they arrived in class, the bear had fallen asleep, but waiting in the wings was an odd flock of birds who didn't know the difference between egg and the number 8. See what everyone else is thinking? That's when she heard Mr. F calling out her nickname. Earth to cerebellum, he said. A penny for your thoughts? She's not thinking, said Russell. She's daydreaming. Daydreaming is an awesome kind of thinking, said Mr. F, but not in class. Let's see, what do you think happened here? All the kids are thinking 8, and she is thinking egg with birds. Do you think the teacher was asking a math facts, and the answer is supposed to be 8? Ooh, look at that. That afternoon, Sarabella stayed in at recess to catch up on her work. She liked sitting at the round table in the quiet room. I know you can do this, Sarabella, said Mr. F, handing her the very last quiz. Just put on your thinking cap and focus. Sarabella began to imagine what her thinking cap might look like, and then she turned back to her papers. Right before the bell rang, Mr. F had Sarabella hand out the weekend assignment. They were always something fun. What do you think, Sarabella? Asked Mr. F. An otter popped into her mind, but that was just the first thing. The assignment says, a penny for your thoughts. Draw a picture of your favorite daydreams. What an interesting assignment. What do you think she's going to draw? Before she even got home, kissed Pinky, and put on her comfy bunny slippers, Sarabella had already thought of 1,000 extraordinary things. By dinner time, check out what's happened. Whoa. By dinner time, she'd run out of paper, had an upset tummy, and a great big mess on her hands. How in the world is she going to pick? That night, just as Sarabella was about to give up, a whale of a thought appeared on the horizon. The closer it got, the more beautiful it became. And though it was the most enormous creature she had ever seen, Sarabella felt unafraid. Do you know what I think? Asked the whale. I can see what you think, replied Sarabella. And so should everyone else, said the whale. To share it, you've just got to wear it. Then the whale blew Sarabella a kiss before she swam off. What does she mean by that? To share it, you just have to wear it. What would you do? This gave Sarabella an idea. She found a brown paper bag and a ruler for measuring. Then she rounded up some old magazines, pretty papers, pencils, pastels, stickers, and stamps, along with her favorite drawings. For the rest of the night, she clipped and colored, pasted and painted until her project was done. Monday morning, everyone was eager to share their weekend project. A penny for your thoughts, said Mr. F., as the kids sat crisscross applesauce on the floor. Who's going first? To the surprise of all, it was Sarabella. If you want to share it, she said, standing up in front of the class, you've just got to wear it. What did she do? What is it going to look like? Everyone else just brought one paper. Wow, do you see that? And that's exactly what Sarabella did when she placed the most spectacular collection of doodads and daydreams right on top of her head. Wow. So that's what you've been thinking, said the kids in awe. Laura saw unicorns, and Javi saw planets, and Dylan saw a cat, a snake, and a feather, while Nate reported seeing clouds with a touch of bad weather. A penny for your thoughts, Mr. F., said Sarabella. I think, he said with a smile, your thoughts are worth more than all the pennies in the world. Aren't they beautiful, her thoughts? You have beautiful thoughts too? On Tuesday, Bob came to school wearing a thinking cap of his own. Sarabella really liked it. We have a lot in common, said Bob. My thoughts exactly, agreed Sarabella. So, how are you like Sarabella? How are you different? What would your thinking cap have on it?